Salmanan. Um, Aziz, so a friend of mine sent me a clip, not a clip, a screenshot of something that David Goggins had posted. And if you don't know David Goggins, search him up. He's a runner, he's a speaker, he's an ex-Navy SEAL, and he's always training, he's training hard. And in this little screenshot, David Goggins is saying, why do people always assume that I don't have a job? Because people are like, oh, I'd also train as much as he trains if I had a job, And it actually had me thinking of many times where people say, hey, Pensino, now where's Luto? No matter is your job, are you a personal trainer? Are you a sports what? Are you trying to get into sports? Are you this? Are you that? And it's crazy because if you start thinking about people that I deem success, at least who I look up to, your Joe Rogans or your Shannon Sharps and all those type of guys who have these amazing bodies and train constantly, people forget those guys also have full-time jobs. Those guys are grafting. Well, not necessarily full-time, not all of them, but a lot of the guys that I looked up to at least are working multiple jobs, Joe Rogan records every fucking day, and he does the UFC stuff, and I can just imagine how many other side hustles that he does, the same thing with Shannon Sharp, who is a presenter, Shannon Sharp who's an analyst, Shannon Sharp who does his own podcast, he's also got so many other things, and we've got family, so you listen and you read when people say, I would also do this if I wasn't, I would also do this, guys, we make it work. These other things that you see us are just the side hustle. These other things is us just building the separate parts of us. I remember reading a very funny little tweet about my brother, and people were saying, what did they say? Yeah, openly for podcast, as if that's the only thing he has going for him. If people are gonna hate and say he was nothing and didn't exist before, let's say a MacG, for example. Shout out MacG. Okay, sharp. Then how was he feeding himself, his commitments, his responsibilities before 10 months ago? If you only know him 10 months ago, how was he feeding himself before then? How was he living his life? How was he looking after the people that he had to look after, his responsibilities, his family, his etc.? How was he doing that? Was he living under a bridge? Sometimes people don't really think. They just spew, And I think a lot of it is also just them projecting. And on the one media group that I'm in, a good friend of mine shared why people give up. And I just want to tweak it and say why people make fucked up excuses. So some of you guys are sitting there and maybe you might identify with what I'm reading. So it's not necessarily a shot, rather than pick up the excuse that you make and then whatever alignment, how you can fix that, So a lot of the people honestly just don't believe in themselves, So sometimes you feel like you're too young or you feel like you're too old. David Goggins is 48, Joe Rogan, Shannon Sharp, these guys are in their 50s. They're still training like beasts, they're still pushing business like beasts, So maybe you don't believe in yourself. You feel like you're too heavy, you feel like you're too fat, you feel like you're too poor, you feel like you're too black, you're too white, you're too green, you're too tall, you're too... Whatever the case is, you need to get that mindset out, Some of us are stuck in the past. Unfortunately, we've all had many triggering events. We all are carrying a lot of darkness, and you're stuck there. Someone told you you're not good enough to start a business. Someone told you you're not smart enough, and you've just lived in that space. We dwell on mistakes. So you started a business, it failed. Sharp. How many businesses have I started? Shit. And they failed, and that's the reality. And you're going to start something, it's going to fail, and you're going to go put on your running shoes, and you're going to run, and you're not going to feel good, and you're going to not wake up the following day, and you're going to fail, So it's all those type of things where they kind of hold you back. Another one is resistant to change. We're very comfortable living our lives, waking up at a certain time, going to work, coming back, and then sitting at home and watching Netflix, Again, for me, I've got 3 kids, so I have to wake up when they wake up, and it's getting light outside, so the kids are up at 5. I'll try and squeeze another 30 minutes, but I'm up at 5:30, and then I have to hit the gym, and then again, I work a full-time job, I've got side hustles, I've got businesses, I've got this, I've got that, and I need to make sure that I manage that throughout the day. What's another one? What's another one? Expecting results to happen too fast. You know, you start gym, you're a bit chubby. You start gym and you think that in 3 months there'll be results. There will be nothing. There'll be no results. You know, the only results might be the fact that you are now more consistent, more slightly more disciplined, but there'll be nothing. Give yourself a year. Give yourself a year. You know, I look at this little vlog channel that I've started, and I've given myself time. I've said, look, my goal is, well, I've beat my goal because I had already told myself that by June I'd get, and I beat that. And my current goal for December, I've already beat it already now in August. So I'm not even stressed when it comes to things like that. What else? What else is holding us back? For those people with OCD, I know you guys tend to overwork. Take a breather. Relax. You can't wake up inspired this morning and run 100 kilometers and think that's going to help. So don't overwork. Don't do too much too early. Take your time. You know, you want to be the tortoise, you want to be the hare. You know, there's a lot of lessons that come in with being the tortoise. You know, people have said to me, Benson, get yourself a proper camera, proper mic, get proper editing. I'm being the tortoise. I'm teaching myself slowly the world of YouTube and these vlogs and this. I'm taking my time. You know, I will have to do 1,000 videos before I get to a point where I say, okay, sharp, let me invest in this, let me invest in that. So that's another thing. Don't overwork yourself. Another thing is believe in your ooh, this one is a gold one. Ooh, this one is gold. You feel like the world owes you something. Oh Lord. You know, my generation, the generation just under me, I'm at 2K as well. Well, my generation is the 80s, then the 90s generation, and definitely I'm at 2K, have a crazy sense of entitlement. You see it in workspaces, you see it, I interview a lot of people for work. Yo, guys off the bat, someone who just has a degree in marketing and they want to come through and earn 35K. You're like, what? You're going to earn 10,000 Rand at best, you know, and you're going to grow into it. And in 3 years' time, you're going to move up to 15,000, and time after that, you're going to move up to 20. Because what you are bringing, the role that you're applying for, that is the allocated budget. If you're applying for the MD role, then you would be getting MD money. So it's those type of things where people have this sense of entitlement. You know, people think all of a sudden if you've got a flat booty, you just need to squat for 3 days and then you'll have a Nicki Minaj. That won't happen. So these things take time. Malcolm Gladwell talks about the 10,000 hour rule. So instead of being entitled to have a six-pack because you've had lettuce for the past 3 months, just ask yourself, have I gotten to the 10,000 hours yet? If you haven't been to gym for 10,000 hours, you are nowhere close to getting that body that you envision, you know, and that you desire. So again, take your time. Take your time. This is a journey. You know, when you fail, don't feel sorry for yourself. These things happen. Don't get anxiety about the future. Live presently. Don't borrow tomorrow's stress and use it today. So it's these excuses. And then the most important, don't be a fucking negative Nancy. Don't go on Twitter and hate on those that are seemingly doing something. Use those people as inspiration. Use those people. If you want to start a podcast, you find someone with 500 subscribers, show them love, because that's 500 more than you have. You know, so even if they've got 10 subscribers, that's 10 more than you have. So you just need to use that and show that inspiration. If you see someone who's gone to gym twice a week, that's 2 times more than you have. So use that and draw that as inspiration, guys. So let's assist each other. Let's motivate each other. Let's work together. Let's minimize the excuses. Let's minimize the excuses so that we can be great. Anyway, guys, happy Friday. Get Zanda.